Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the News Behind the News with Rav Kantav on Mix 94.7 FM. And this afternoon, I am joined with Mr. Cresburk Browne. Cresburk, how you doing? And thanks for being on the program.
I'm all right, Ralph. What's up? What's up?
Cool. So, I know you're a guy who, in a sense, wears many hats. And today in particular, you're here in capacity as the president, right, of the Dutch Quarter Community Council.
Correct.
Basically, we've been in touch here and there, but when I reached out to you, that was mainly due to the fact that, I saw a very passionate plea of a meeting that was held in Dutch Quarter, of residents and stuff. And, we know very well the stigma, I think is right to say, that we have placed on certain communities on St. Martin, especially that one. I think it's important to highlight, the real needs, the real face of the community in particular. And so we're here today.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. So with that, can you tell us a bit about yourself, and we move on from there.
Okay, let's go back. I grew up in Dutch Quarter, almost born in Dutch Quarter. I was born after Hurricane Hugo. Hurricane Hugo passed September 17th, 1989. And my mom gave birth to me September 21st, 1989. So I was literally almost born and raised in Dutch Quarter. After that, growing up, went to the Dr. Martin Luther King. At that time, it was on top of the Mount William Hill.
Okay.
And then after Hurricane Lewis, which was 95, it destroyed it. And then we went down. We didn't went down in the valley, as they say, yet. We did half of the learning. So from 1 o'clock, we went to school by the Mary Laurent School in Mid-Region. So we did that for about 2 years. And then we moved over to the location, which is known now as the new Dr. Martin Luther King School up in the area of Zorg en Rust. Mm-hmm. After Zorg en Rust, I left there. I went to MPC. I did MAVO. Did it at a very young age. I think I was one of the young ones in MPC. I reached MPC when I was like 10, then I made 11. It was very weird. It was very weird.
Yeah, ahead of your time.
Yeah, and then my mother would not be so happy because literally in the last year of my first year in MPC, I like, Mommy, I don't feel like going to school, and I literally didn't went to school, but not promoting that you're not supposed to go to school, learn your lesson. And then for the fourth form, I did pretty much the same thing, which was a little bit funny at the time to me, not to my mom and not to my dad. And then after that, because I finished school basically when I was 16, made 17, and after that I took my studies to the Netherlands. There I did HAVO, I went to MBO, did ICT beheerder, then I went to HBO, did bestuurskunde, overheidsmanagement, and then...
What was that? Last one, yeah.
That is public administration. I think that's the correct translation for it in English. And then while over there working, met my wife, and we decided in 2016 maybe we should apply for a job. So I was like, I don't really want to go back to St. Martin. I got life good. I got a house, I got a car, I got a bike, I work in 2 jobs. I'm great, living it up. She was like, yeah, but babe, home is where our heart is. So I was like, you know what? Let's try a thing. Mm-hmm. And indeed, we submitted our applications, and I submitted it to Telem, where I still currently employed. She did it at the Court of Guardianship, and it took off from there. And then we came back home, and when I came back home, it was bittersweet, but it also was a little hurtful.
Also,
because being gone for about 10 years, and then coming back to the neighborhood that you grew up in, that I grew up in, for so long. And to see that there weren't much changes at all, is like, but why? Like, why?
Yeah,
what
10
we
years,
do?
Right? You had quite a bit of time.
So it's like, okay, so much could have happened, but nothing did. And I remember specifically when there was a small court between Union Farm and 911. We used to play basketball. There's a very small court, and in '97 with the SAP, the bread and butter party they used to call them.
That's Rolex
And
party,
Yes, and with the SP and everybody come round and they said, we gonna fix up the court and we gonna do this and we gonna do that. And that's me from a young age, like, 7 or something like that. And then all of that talk, nothing happened. Because now we're looking at almost 26, 27, 28 years later, nothing.
Yeah.
You understand? So for me, it's like, come on, something needs to be done. Well, in 2018, I started to, because I always followed the politics, even when I was in Holland at the time. I always was interested in it from a young age. But then I started to get more passionate about it because of where I grew up and where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted change for my community. At the time, if we look back, Edgar Lynch, the late Edgar Lynch, he was always in Dutch Quarter. He sponsored us for everything. If we were playing basketball, we had one of the most dominant teams on the island, the Dutch Quarter Thunders, forever, And he always was there. He always sponsored us. We have pictures, we have everything, And he was always there. He would walk down the road, even though he lives on Mount William Hill, just on the opposite side, looking over Madam Estate. He would take his time with his slippers, come down the road, eat glasses, hail up everybody, walk all the way down to the end of the roundabout. Was in there before, and walk back up. He was a people person of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And when he passed away, that just it went. Dutch Quarter just, that was it.
So you would say he was like, in a sense, a pillar.
Yes, he was one of the pillars in Dutch Quarter. Because we have many. We have Miss Vero, we have Miss Christina. These are solid pillars in Dutch Quarter who's always been there, always been helping, always been vocal. You understand? So that happened, and when the snap election was coming around, I decided, let me take a chance at it. And
which party you ran with?
I ran with the Up party. I was number 14 on the list. I saw myself, my values, what I see, what I want to see. I saw it more with the Up party.
Oh, are you still a member of the party?
Yeah, currently I'm still a member, yes.
Okay.
So I tried, and, not going to give up, because it's eye-opening, it was exciting, because you hear about it, but when you be a part of, when you're in it now, you're doing it, you notice it's a different ball game, so to speak. Also, too, as well, you learn a lot about people, especially when you're postulating yourself and when you're going out there trying to get the votes. You learn a lot about people. So
I'm sure that takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot of work, but also you hear the ills more of the community, and you see them too as well, because they're there to be seen. But one of our issues in Dutch Quarter, we're not seen. We're literally the lost city of Dutch Quarter. Like how you have the lost city of Atlantis, we're the lost city. You understand? Many people, they talk about Dutch Quarter.
Yes.
When last have they visited Dutch Quarter? When do they drive through Dutch Quarter? Because if you look at Dutch Quarter on a whole, it's in the corner. You don't need to go Dutch Quarter for anything. You don't have to come to Dutch Quarter to go by Super 2-3. You understand? You could go by Cresburk, because Cresburk is right here, Madam Estate, I mean. You don't have to send your kids to the Martin Luther King School, because it's like all the way out of the way. You could send them to any other public school, the M. Genevieve the Weaver, and you can continue. Or you can go to the Sister Borgia, Sister Magdi. You can switch it up. So Dutch Quarter is literally isolated, and people treat it as such. And I am, to be real honest with you, I'm tired of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy that more people in the community are becoming extremely vocal about how it's being treated. Because it's wrong. No matter what we say, what we do, the neglect of Dutch Quarter is wrong. Our officials, and it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, because, we look at the numbers. Dutch Quarter is, of course, one of those districts that you want to win. Correct.
Dutch Quarter gives you 3 seats, Ralph. Imagine that.
Yeah, because Dutch Quarter is that, people might think St. Peter's and so forth, but actually, if you get Dutch Quarter and Belvedere, basically, the cat is in the bag.
There you go.
But then when you look at projects specifically, not even considering policy, but just projects, it seems like it's projects for everywhere or elsewhere but here. Because, I always reference, I think what a good reference is the university. Like you talk about being gone for so long, coming back home like, whoa, like nothing happened. You know, we can brag about certain things on St. Martin. That's whether it's the ports, the bridges, whatever, the boardwalk, etc.
Beaches.
But then you look at the other institutions that, let's say, that make a people. Like, for example, like a university. It's that same still. It's the same small size. So so it's like it's an unofficial message of saying, well, we don't care about this, or this is just your limit. If you get what I'm saying.
I got you.
So when I look at certain, again, well, nobody's specifically talking about Dutch Quarter. I think you wrapped it up well by stating that, in a sense, is like that lost city, because you're not seeing the investments that will be reflected in other areas.
You're not seeing it.
In a sense, not even a pinch of it is properly laid out in the squat. And so, even as I said, properly, I do know that you guys were in Parliament. I think it was in September last year.
Yes, indeed.
You made a presentation and so forth to that the Committee for Community Councils, I think.
Correct.
Okay.
So let me just give a little small elucidation on that. So after the elections, we did an election in Dutch Quarter where we invited members to come out to, because we wanted to get the community council active again. Because it's important to have an active community council.
Yeah, yes.
So we did the small elections. I was the elected president. So what we sat down and we needed to bring a presentation, because in Parliament there's a committee for community councils or for the community. So we sat down, we say, you know what, let's try to see if we can get on the agenda, because let's be honest, Dutch Quarter is one of the most hot topics. Nothing is happening in Dutch Quarter. We need attention. Everywhere else gets attention, but we don't. So we went to Parliament, the presentation it highlighted basically everything. We showed the roads, we showed the school, and we even brought up the seniors. Because one of the most important things, if we're looking at it, my father came to St. Martin maybe like 1960-something. Can't remember. He's not here anymore, so I can't clarify. But I know for sure, somewhere in the 60s, 70s, Dutch Quarter was the same. It wasn't much. Listening to one of his good friends spoke at the gathering we had. He said it's for 50 years he's living Dutch Quarter, and Dutch Quarter was better then, and it's worse now. I mean, like, when you sit down and you hear somebody who lived in the same place for 50 years, you gotta start to open up your ears. We presented all issues we have in Dutch Quarter, but also it's also important to highlight, okay, there's an issue, but this could potentially help fix the problem that we have. Correct. We did that. To this day, nothing.
No response, no feedback.
Nothing. We're always hearing the sewage project here is in court. Okay, cool, it's in court, but people are suffering. You got to buy shocks. You got to buy new brake shoes. You got to buy new rotor. Why? Because the road is that bad. You're driving it for 2 months, you're going to hear something, your muffler, something is going bad. So then, instead of the parents of that child within the community going to invest, for example, to go to the Ferris wheel they want to build in town, that parent would have to be like, you know what, I can't do this right now, because I have to put aside to fix X, Y, and Z to make sure that we can get around, to make sure I can get to work. So the social ills of the community does have an impact on the economy. And if we don't tackle the social issues we have, we're going to forever be in a vicious circle. Now let me get to the meat and the potatoes, Ralph. We're in February, right? This is supposed to be Black History Month. I've seen so many pictures with MPs and ministers going to the Martin Luther King School. What happened to the Martin Luther King School? Wait, they was going to the Martin Luther King School in September because it was raining, and October was also raining. Ralph, let me ask you a question. Was it not raining a couple of days ago?
Yep.
So the school still have the same issue. The roof is no good.
To this day.
There you go. Now, let me rewind. I went to that school when it was built. It used to leak. This was almost, what, so 25, 26 years ago.
Say you can't even,
so if it was leaking then...
Irma's not in it.
Yeah. So if it was leaking then, imagine now. It's always been bad. The sewage has always been an issue. Now we're in the Black History Month. Who was one of our famous black leaders? Martin Luther King. If he was alive and he heard about this school, he'd feel ashamed. He would ask our elected officials, like, what's wrong with you? He had a dream, but we are living in a nightmare. It is unacceptable. The Prince William Alexander School. How much time are they going to give money to fix the school? Because now, this is intriguing to me. That school got money at least 3 times to be fixed. It doesn't have a roof as yet. Can somebody not look into these things? Something is wrong. Mm-hmm. Something is wrong somewhere, and it needs to be addressed. I heard money was given to the Dr. Martin Luther King School. Where did that money go? In the tarpaulins? As Paul said, that's not tarpaulins. If it was a tarpaulin, we would have said, okay, those are pieces of tarpaulins on the roof, dry rotting. It's a burning shame. I would love to send my son or my sons to the Martin Luther King School, where I went to, where my father actually built a concrete building together with the guys from, it wasn't from me, it was on Public Works at the time. Mm-hmm. I would love to send them there, but guess what? I can't. The learning conditions is not feasible for kids to learn.
And
it's
the
wrong.
Teachers and the staff, yeah.
You understand? The teachers, I praise those teachers. Mr. Dufus, the principal, Mr. Dufus, hats off to him. Teacher Marlin, hats off to her. They are dealing with the worst conditions I ever seen at school in, but they're still coming to school and doing their utmost best for the kids.
Yeah.
And that to me, that should touch home to somebody. Like, when are we really going to fix that school? I gave a solution. While sitting, myself with Sydney and Amaris, the Martin Luther King on top of the hill. Structurally, it's okay. The roof is a little bad. You could just, the walls are concrete. Why not put a little effort over there, move some of the kids up, break down they call them the Lego buildings, because the school basically is like Lego blocks, so you can't fix the roof. Mm-hmm. So they're going under, the guys are fixing the roof. The roof cannot be fixed. The school needs to be destroyed, so it needs to be broken down, and you need to build back better. That's what they say, resilience. We need to build back better. So let's start there. You move some of the kids up, you build, you move them back down. If for 2 years we learned going to Mary Lawrence in the afternoon from 1 to 5, and I came out good. My sisters, my brothers, my cousins, we all learned. Can we not reinvent the wheel and do it over
Apply
again?
The same and get a better result.
You understand? And we have the means. Almost all the schools on the island have fiber. Martin Luther King can't get fiber. Dutch Quarter can't get fiber yet, So it's like, okay, what's really going on? Now, me speaking as a community council president, because I got put on the hats. It's ridiculous and it's not good. Now, let's go a little deeper. A sewage project that started, let's look back, 2016, there was discussions. The Prime Minister at the time, William Marlin, signed off on a lot of things. The sewage project has not been completed 6 years later.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
But didn't it not start since 2013?
Looking back, I think the talks about it were from then. And then
the official
start was 2018 for sure. That was in February. The official start, when they dug up the first part of the road.
It's been a back and forth, yes. Yeah.
And it's always been a back and forth of money. But here's the problem. We are the kids stuck in between a bad divorce. Right? The kids are suffering. We are suffering. Because when the first part of the road from by the roundabout till about Dr. Bryson, Dr. Sanchita, or by Keynes Drive, many would know it as, we suffered. Mm. The road was bad. People had to buy brand new shocks. They had to buy... The vehicles suffered. Will government compensate us for that? We know the answer to that. If GB don't compensate us for the fridges and everything else, government ain't compensate us for our vehicles. It's just a sad reality. But we had to drive through that. We had to suffer for that. It is ridiculous. And now we back at it again just before the snap election. The same issue. Hence, I asked it in Parliament.
And it's still not over, so that you kind of might as well prepare to go through another...
The hurtful part is, how can you dig up a road and not put it back the way you met it? Because they dug up a lot of the side. Alice, I remember, I don't remember the year, but the year the Queen came, and she wanted to go to the ICANN Foundation. That road going up there to Debbie, was It was dirt, rocky. When she came, they paved that road. They made sure that road was paved. You understand? So why is it only when certain events are going to take place, we get attention?
Yeah.
I want attention all the time. But let me break it down just a little bit. We're going to go from the constitutional standpoint of things, right? I wrote it down on a paper because I can't remember everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we look at Article 3 of the Constitution of St. Martin, right, it reads, no person shall be subjected to torture, to cruel or inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment. Man, we've been punished. We've been punished. The sewage still running in the road at time to time. Nothing is as they said it should be. Then we look at Article 16. Let me talk about equality, because Article 16 talks about equality. Ralph, you can do maybe street interviews. Ask anybody in Dutch Quarter if they feel equal to any other of the other neighborhoods. Just ask them. The other neighborhoods have the basic necessities. They have most of the poles on the ground. We have that problem. Most of our poles are still overhead.
Above ground, yeah.
So when hurricane comes, just like when hurricane came in for Louis and Irma, we were almost the last. Well, practically always the last. So we're the last to get back current. That's crazy. So imagine this. My father went through this. Boom. I'm going through it. That's 2. My kids are going through it. So 3 generations. So for more than 30 years. No change. Impossible. Then we look at Article 21 of the Constitution. The government shall promote the health of the population. I assume Dutch Quarter is not a part of the population because the sewage crisis still hasn't been fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. And when one of the things
I guess a little benefit is your distance from the dump.
That's another story.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just throw that in there, but I definitely follow.
So it's unacceptable at this point in time that we are subjected to the same treatment year after year after year after year. It's wrong.
I have a question as well. Since the time you guys met with Parliament, that was in September.
Correct.
Have you had any communication with the government as well? Because I do know we have that community development department, for example. I'm curious as to what relationship you have. The
one with VESA.
Yeah.
Let's see. They reached out to me when they were gonna do
a survey.
No, they had something held by the Weaver Estate. So they called and they asked. I told them no problem. In the sense of they wanted to know if we would be able to help and assist. I said, okay, I would have to put it to the council itself and ask who is available because it's on a Saturday and, most of the time people have their own things to do. So there is a communication there, but it needs to be improved. I did not hear back anything from Parliament when it comes to regard of, okay, we hear your plight. What are the solutions? I did listen to the budget meeting. But that are not solutions. That's not solutions that I find okay, because when I heard the projects, I didn't see Dutch Quarter was on any project. I heard of an amendment, but I'm like, okay, you have a serious issue in the neighborhood of Dutch Quarter. We need it fixed. We are lacking. We do not have the basic necessities. For example, light. There is some light, on the main road. What about the alleys? People live in alleys. Nobody actually sleeps or lives on the main road. You understand? But
also, the safety element of it when you're walking and all of that.
Come on. So, how long? And the joke is, these lights haven't been there for almost 30 years. We are requesting to have the lights. We need lights in Dutch Quarter. Gibbs Drive, Richardson Drive, Quilter Drive, Keynes Drive, all of the drives. Recently, they added they fixed the lampposts in Keynes Drive, but you still have the other alleys that you need to do. Nick Spring Estate goes straight all the way up. All of these things still need to be done. People lack those simple things. Also, one of the, as they call it, the elephant in the room in Dutch Quarter is the 911 project. What is happening to the 911 projects? Let us be real. On one end, you're hearing they're supposed to own the houses after 95 based on their living there for more than 10 years. Now we're how much years? 20 something years further ahead. So, okay, they can't own it. Can they own it? I mean, these people have been living there now for quite some time. What's the real story?
Where exactly is there? I'm sorry to ask, but yeah.
So 911 is basically when you're by the block and you go straight up that black road. So it's literally across from Union Farm.
Okay.
So it's between Zorgerus and Union Farm.
Okay.
And that's 911.
Okay, follow you.
So in that area, somebody collected the money. Somebody gave permission. So if those individuals gave permission, what's the hold up? That means they own the land. So if you give permission, you own something. So that means by rights, because of the deals you have with government and you put it on a written document, can these individuals now can they own these homes? Yes or no? Because leaving it like, when something bad happens.
What are the quality of those homes like?
Project houses. Most people make them look nice, so it's not bad. They're not in like deplorable, crazy condition. Some people, paint them up, added a little like a shed to wash. So it's not bad.
Fair, well drained Irma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're still there. They were there after 95, and now they're still there after Irma.
Gotcha.
So they held up pretty well. Some people, lack the resources again still to fix and to do certain things because they have some now social issues. Can these individuals be allotted the houses?
Where they are?
Yes or no? Because it's like a Mexican standoff. Nobody knows what to do, but those individuals are suffering. They pay, if I'm not mistaken, they used to pay, or they had to pay, like, I think it was 250, maybe 400 guilders a month. Okay, they're giving the money. Cool. No nazor, we just never do that in government. We always build things, put things down, but we don't take everything afterward. That's crazy. Those individuals, can they get help / a response? Can they know what's going on? You understand? Because a lot of people have questions, but they're not getting the answers. They need help. Help them. I'm not in the capacity to tell an individual, this land belongs to you. I'm not in that capacity. But if that can be done, let's get this out of the way. Let's close the chapter on that door.
Simply provide a solution.
Provide a solution for them. Or if they cannot be on the land no more, okay, cool. If the owners, whoever own it, because that's how do you call it? That's a mystery again. Nobody really knows who it is. And then when you find out who it is, then you hear, land issue on St. Martin is always tralala.
Yeah.
So provide solutions for them. Can they be moved to maybe some of the Belvedere units? Is that a possibility? Because you had a couple of units free. Can they be set on some priority list to move them to the Hope Estate? Because maybe up there have, or for whenever Vineyard Heights is fixed, or
anyhow.
Yeah, the Vineyard Heights, because then it's government lease land.
Yeah,
that's what they said, right? So can these people be given priority? They need it. Dutch Quarter needs it. We need light. Basic. We need for the overhead to go underground. If I am mistaken, Mr. Lambert has started the project. Come on, let's finish it. It don't have to take us another 30 years. It's crazy. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
We need to stop because enough is enough. Everybody is fighting up because they hear, the road getting blocked, and they want to know when the road getting blocked. Okay, cool. Don't worry. You're going to wake up one morning, you're going to realize the people of Dutch Quarter had enough. You understand? Paul started a movement, and I am behind him 110%.
So on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You're tuned into the News Behind the News with Ralph Kintav on Mix 94.7 FM. And this afternoon, I'm joined with the passionate Mr. Cresburk Browne, but rightly so, who is the president of the Dutch Quarter Community Council. And so I'm glad you mentioned Paul. For those who may not be aware, if you speak about that gathering and what's ongoing in Dutch Quarter since I think it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks now. Basically.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So basically, Paul started the movement, and I'm behind of him 110%. I already told him this because he realized it too as well. He
Who's
noticed.
Paul, by the way?
How to put it? Paul is one of the OG generals from Dutch Quarter. He owned the shop there, going up to Zorgerus. He and his wife, Indira, and they have wonderful kids. We all grew up together. So Paul is one of the, you could say, the father figures from Dutch Quarter. He started it because he realized, but wait a minute, something ain't right. They give you a chocolate to keep you chewing. But when that chocolate done, you're wondering, but where the main course? It's like, okay, hold on 10 minutes. You got to wait for the food. And the food does never reach. Every year the food come in, but the food don't reach. The minister told me, Minister of Education at the time, the Minister of Education told me in 2020, the school going to be fixed. That's 2 years later.
And have you guys followed up since?
I just always follow up. The school ain't fixed. I had questions, and that's why we went to Parliament. We asked questions. What's going on with the sewage project?
So with the time you went to Parliament, were the questions that you guys posed, in a sense, was it given to Parliament that they would ask on your behalf, or?
I think that was the idea of the so the parliamentarians would then call the ministers in or send them a letter based on the things that we said on how are they going to execute or how they're going to help alleviate the pains that we feel within our community. I think that's how it goes, or it should have gone, or it's going. So they're still waiting for replies, and let's see
feedback.
Let's see how that goes. But back to Paul. Paul started the movement, and I'm behind him. Why? If one person keeps talking, after a while people be like, he always making noise.
Yeah.
He always got something to say. So I'm happy Paul spoke up. The video that went viral was the one with Mila. Mila spoke up. Then we have another video in the evening where one of my father's good friends, Bernard, he spoke up. And, that one touched a lot of people. 50 years. And he explained, he went into details, how much of times they already came in the 50 years and say how they're going to fix this road and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. But it is never done. How is that possible? St. Peter's gets fixed. Tunnels get attention. Sucker Garden got facelift. Miller Region looks beautiful. Water don't even settle on the road no more. And water used to settle there where Victor's was water. You always had dirty water. All of these places are...
They've been addressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're living their best life, so to speak. They're good. What happened to our beautiful Dutch Quarter? Because Dutch Quarter is a paradise. Many people just don't see it. When can we get the little rock wall coming on Mount William Hill? Because, erosion, the rocks come in the road. People see it when it rains, the rocks start to roll out the hill. When we could get a little nice rock wall. When we could get a reflectors coming on the road. You understand? When we could get a bumps. When we could get the little street signs. We don't have no street signs. So if you don't know where Zurich we have to hit you. Okay, when you're coming down Mount William Hill, right?
Yeah.
And you pass Christina. Who's Christina? Okay. You're going to see a big mango tree on your left. Okay, yeah, I see that. All right. It's your first left. Your first left that you can actually turn off the road. Huh? Oh, okay, I see it. Okay. But where the community center be? You have to drive all the way up Zurich and rest till the Taman Tree, and then you turn left. It has no signs. You have to explain people specifics. Like, okay, Gibbs Drive is by the West Indian Village. Not when you're passing it, when you're just going to meet it. Richardson Drive is when you're passing it, and then Keynes Drive, and then you go Magic Drive. You have to go into details because when you're going on the road, you don't have...
Use different markers, basically.
In order to identify where you're going.
Yeah.
And if you know Dutch Quarter, you're going to know. You understand? So it's sad. It's a sad reality that we face. But one thing come to mind. I've heard this so much times. And this is always when people pass away. Gone but not forgotten. But the citizens of Dutch Quarter, they're alive. They pay road tax. We pay GB. We pay Telem. We give our fair share to contribute to this economy. And by giving our fair share, can we not get a little better treatment than what we're experiencing now currently? Because it's sad.
Even with what you're saying, then I'm curious as well as to, as far, because you guys are, in a sense, function as a lobby of the district, the lobbyists of the district. What sort of activities, has the council plan, but also when it comes to doing needs assessments of households and so forth? And
so one of the key issues we wanted to tackle first was the seniors. That's why we also brought up the three major issues we have in Dutch Quarter. We spoke about the Martin Luther King School. I hope somebody gets on the ball on that. We spoke about the sewage project that is waiting because you're hearing it's in court and they have to. That's a whole tralala. But the one of the issues now was the seniors. Dutch Quarter is on the one side of the island. Where do the seniors have to go for their medication based on what you know in Ralph? All the way Cold Bay, right?
Yeah.
We have to go by Medicos. Isn't that far? Why isn't there a Medicos in town? Or, better yet, a good solution, why isn't there the Medicos outlet using the Dutch Quarter help desk? Because you have the same seniors who have the same ailments, blood pressure, they have their blood sugar tablets, they have the little thing that they prick to test. So if you have those things in stocks, you could tell those seniors within the community, hey, at the end of the month, we know you have to restock. You can come down the road instead of having to jump on a bus. Because do remember this, when you take those medications for your kidneys and all, you just have to drink a lot of water. And what does water want to make you do? You have to urinate. So you have to use the bathroom a little bit frequently. So imagine a 65-year-old senior jumping on a bus to go to town. Where is she going to pee when she reaches the town? Where is she going to use the bathroom? Is there a facility that she can go to, easy, accessible, clean? Then when she goes on the bus from town to reach the Cold Bay, you have traffic on the hill. Guess what? She wants to also go to the bathroom again. That's what the medication does to you. She cannot do it on the bus. She may have to stop and then run maybe somewhere there by Beautylicious or Koiman and ask, maybe even beg, like, I need... It's not right. You need to bring it closer to the seniors. The solution is you can use the help desk, but you can also use the community center. That's what those things are there for, to help the community.
Outreach.
To bring people closer. Because what you want within a neighborhood, you want better social cohesion. So, you see the seniors walking on, they would help, they will get help. Some of the activities, as you asked for, what we were planning, on the council, we created some committees to do different things to get back into things. Because before growing up, there was always activities at a community center. You had like running, track and field, and you had like swimming, and you had sewing, you had something like cooking, and you had a lot of those activities after school that could have been done. Right now, you don't have much based on the corona, so it's hard to want to meet up and do certain activities, but we do have certain things planned. We have different communities we setting up to deal with the kids, to deal with the seniors, to deal with sports, a sports committee. We also was looking into like a gardening committee where we have a very passionate individual.
That is a very good idea.
I think she was in show.
Yeah, Perla.
Yeah, Perla.
Yeah.
She's 100% behind that. So you can show the kids them how we can do it with what we have. So you plant your own your onions, your peppers, your bell peppers, and even with the poultry, with the eggs and stuff like that.
So with that, I guess they're thinking in terms of like a community garden.
Yep, looking into that.
So like getting a space, a piece of land to be able to
just so people could come if they have
share
peas.
gardening.
You take the peas, and then the kids can also come and help take care of the garden. So instead of having them not do anything, because they say idle hands are what?
Devil's playground.
Okay. And we don't want that no more. Dutch Quarter has a dark cloud in it, and all we want to do is to change the image. Let us be that ray of sunshine through the clouds.
If I'm not mistaken, I think there's also talks in the past of possibly having a police outpost near there too.
Ooh, that's another story.
Because of course that would you can't go wrong with police presence.
So the thing is,
element.
Yes and no. It has you have pros and you have cons. Which police officers will be patrolling the neighborhood? The ones who would like to beat their chest. So then you can have the ones who like to beat their chest and the fellas them who checking like, but you don't gotta talk to me like that. You just could have just asked me. You don't gotta get on. So when it comes to the police presence,
I think the police has a department that does deal with that, right? I mean, you also have to challenge them when they,
correct. Yeah. But again, you gotta know your audience. You gotta know your audience.
Yeah.
The police post was supposed to be in the Bethlehem estate from Miss Astrid Plants. If I'm not mistaken, I saw the presentation and she have like for GB police, she have a specific spot for them to cut out. But her project is on hold because of what? The sewage project not being finished. So it's called, I think, the Village at the Border. Very beautiful presentation. I will send it to you, and then you can take a look at what she's been advocating for so long that cannot be done. She says she's shown this presentation to every government.
Yeah, makes sense. I've heard that story countless times.
You know, so
Yeah.
and I look at it like it gives us in Dutch Quarter a facelift. Because you have the Village at the Border. I see, for example, exactly what's going to be done. You have the piece for the stores. It's going to make a difference.
Even if it's just a fresh coat of paint, the signs.
There you go. And if you look at the McDonald's, most of the personnel working at McDonald's are people from Dutch Quarter. You know, so it gives people a help. If the fellas they could go pack bags. I think Carrefour is supposed to be coming there on the border as well. So it gives them that advantage too. They can go work there, pack bags. It gives them hope. They could do something. I'll give you an example of one of the guys, two of the fellas them grew up together. Dutch Quarter ain't had no car wash. The car wash was just open, the Holy Hood car wash. Great. The guys them doing good, you know, back in the days. All of them used to be riding bike, doing the thing, and man realized, hey, I need to make a change in my life, and let me try to do some positive. And some positive is very small. For example, for them, right? In the sense of, let me open up a car wash. When the car wash was open, they were visited by so much inspectors. It's crazy. They don't come to visit the sewage, but you open up a car wash and they were visited so much, it was crazy. Then you have Candy under the bar, under the tree, open up, same thing. Want to do some positive? We don't have no bars really in Dutch Quarter that you could literally go by and play pool and just sit down and just chat nonsense from today till tomorrow, you know? So you could just hang out. We don't have that. The guys them created a nice environment where you could just go pull up, talk. That's where we had the cookout. Mm-hmm. And that event went well. Most people are always thinking, yeah, Dutch Quarter is that. No, we are more than civilized. We are more than civilized.
It's like you share that with your sister Sylvie, which would be French Quarter.
Yeah, but we are civilized.
People give it just a bad rap. But
people talking, right? And they're saying things, but when you come to Dutch Quarter, it's like, but it ain't so.
The main issue is just there is not enough. The investment factor, really. That's what it comes down to.
Well, the biggest question: who invests in Dutch Quarter? Dutch Quarter don't have no stores. They have none. That's the shops that you know, and everybody knows the owners of the shop. You got Johnny, you got Tracy, you got Kevin. Everybody, we know, you don't call them China. They have names. Use their names. You understand? Be respectful. And people move away from that in Dutch Quarter, and we call them by their names. You understand? So, with that being said, it's kind of crazy when the boys them who was on the block trying to do something positive. You understand? The cookout was their idea. They collaborate us as the community council, and we hit it off together. We make it work. So much people heard about it, and they're like, yeah, that happened for real? Yeah, it happened for real. Let me see, last year, we did 700 plus plates of food. Imagine that, giveaway, free. With the help of, we have different sponsors who helped and stuff like that. We made it happen. Teamwork makes the dream work, and we show this every year. The cook-up this year, we gave out like 500 plus, but I think due to Corona, not much people came out, and people was acting like it was a big party. But if you looked at the pictures, everybody was spread off, sitting down, eating the barbecue chicken leg, just calm, cool, and just listening to music, playing in the background. Everybody was enjoying themselves. Because when last did you have the opportunity to sit down outside, eat some chicken, enjoy stuff, hear music, and then talk a little bit? Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. Now, going back a little bit, just to finish off that section, without the sewage project being completed, Ms. Plants is on a standstill. She can't do what she needs to do for the village at the border, which would give her a facelift, which would also help in cooperate Link 6, the famous Link 6 that's supposed to happen. All of these things are pending on, let's get the sewage project fixed. Let's get the road fixed. Let's put
basically
lights.
It will lead to a positive domino effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are waiting, but guess what? Enough is enough. And everybody wonder, yeah, but when, don't worry about that. Enough is enough. People are tired now. It ain't just from me you're hearing it now. No. You have now many others are being vocal with the dissatisfaction of how they're being treated. Because if our constitution tells us the way we're supposed to be treated and we're not, then let me go a little further now. The Kingdom Charter tells us how we're supposed to be treated, how a man's supposed to be treated, and they're not doing so. Come on. After a while, people are going to take matters into their own hands, period.
So, with the question I asked you about some of the activities you've done or have planned, I know what helps a lot is partnerships. Because, for example, so you guys have your members, but of course, your members can't do everything.
Correct.
And so, how do you have any established partnership with any other foundations, to address the needs of the community?
Not yet, but each member on the board, not just the executive board, but board members, is affiliated with a different foundation. So you have members on the board who's also a part of the Rotary, who's a part of maybe Lions Club, who's a part of the different foundations and organizations we have on the island, who's willing to help, donate, contribute, and make Dutch Quarter a better community. So we have that. We're just waiting to get certain things in place first, because you always have to put certain things in place. Then you share your plan for the unpack with everybody, your plan, what you want to do and want to accomplish. For example, we have SXM Dude coming up. We submitted a project there for lights. Imagine that. We just want lights. Cause
as simple as that.
As simple as that, we just want some lights. We just want some lights, and we know exactly where we can put them up because it's extremely dark. You understand? And then, other than constantly cleaning up, the boys them cleaning up the road good enough. Let's be honest. St. Martin is pretty clean on the Dutch side in comparison to the other years where you would drive down the road and you see a bunch of bottles in a bush. The guys, all of the contractors who got the garbage, they're doing their thing. Respect, they're doing their thing. So it doesn't make sense for us to go to XXM Dude to clean up. We just want lights. We just want some lights.
Gotcha.
Basic things, simple things. Imagine that. Just lights.
Wow. And I think something else that even just came to mind. There are different factors that help boost a community. Even, something as simple as an ATM.
We had one, but the gas station closed down.
Yeah, and
the gas station was I found it was like a real, I don't have to drive all the way, Madam Estate or Point Blank to get gas.
It serves a decent, you got Belvedere.
French Quarter.
Even if Defiance.
Correct. Oyster Pond. So you had,
Yeah.
I don't know what is happening, because that's another question I also asked.
But that's
in
a family
Parliament.
matter, right?
Yeah, I think that's a family issue or something. But I asked the question because what happened, and you can see that it's becoming an eyesore because people just come in and now parking vehicles and they're stripping them down.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it used to serve a purpose. It's not serving a purpose now. So what are we going to do? What can be done? Because then you don't want it to become a junkyard. Because you don't already have at least 4 cars already parked up, stripped down right there on the premises.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, come on. I asked the question, what can be done? Can, the government maybe reach out to the family members and ask them?
I think the property owners, I think that would be more on property owners to whether find a way to kind of corner or seal off, prevent persons from being able to enter.
Yeah.
But that's that's kind of a side step, I would say. So my final question for you is, as far as engagement, what are you looking at to also engage the community? I know that oftentimes people feel like it's a struggle to get people to come out to support, to talk, whether it's with town halls and so forth. What do you have lined up with that concern? So
one of the things I've learned, you just got to start. If you don't start, you don't know where you're heading towards. So we started it. Paul started it. We support Paul 100%, and we're going to continue to do so because, as I said earlier, if you're just hearing it from me, it's going to sound like I'm complaining. Oh, Browne always got something to say, blah, blah, blah. You're always talking about Dutch Quarter, but I don't have a choice. I mean, I live there, born there, as the old people say, I'm a neighbor stringberry there. That's where I'm from. I have to talk about Dutch Quarter because that's what I'm bet. I have 2 boys, you understand? So I want to improve the first generation. My father couldn't get much done. I'm here now, the second generation. Let me try. And then, whatever the case may be, my sons could continue from there on, because we're not here forever.
Facts.
You understand? So one of the things what we're going to do, we're going to try to be holding more town hall meetings. You understand? In order to get the public more engaged. So the next meeting we're going to have, we'll invite you, yourself, we'll invite all the media outlets. You guys come out so you can hear what others have to say, and not just what one or two individuals have to say. Not just a Mila, not just a Paul, not just a Cresburk. You understand? You can hear the passion, but you can also see the emotion when we speak about Dutch Quarter. It's crazy, Ralph. It's crazy that after so long, there is no change. Without progress, there's not going to be change. So where we progressing towards? We want to build back a bigger, better St. Martin, but let's start with the communities.
Yeah.
The social issues in the community trickles over to the economy. It gives me less spending power if I have to constantly fix my vehicle. I can't carry my kids on the boardwalk to get ice cream, to do this, to do that. There's a trickle-down effect. You understand? So we need to link the two. We always talk about, we have a one-pillar economy. Okay, cool. It helps. Let me fix the communities, and you will see different pillars start to pop up. You will see
St. Martin thrive. And the best example for me is really when after the hurricane, but also when the island was shut down. Because you saw, if you didn't see it, well, can't say anything about that, but you saw how we help support each other with our own ventures. So it's like...
So why stop there?
It's not impossible, exactly. And it shouldn't just be a crisis that forces us to hey, we got to unite, we got to band together. No, it should be our way of life.
We didn't even have to think outside of the box, because everything is there. We have so much entrepreneurs within each community doing a specific thing that we don't have to go here, we don't have to go there.
And I can employ people.
You understand?
Yeah.
It is not any... Just looking at Dutch Quarter, right? There are also other forgotten communities. Fort William. You don't hear about Fort William. Yeah. But over there also you have issues in the back going on by Oyster Pond. You don't hear about it, but over there has a small community as well. You have communities in a community that is forgotten. But we did not die.
Yeah.
We're still here. Remember us. Look out for us. Not just when events are about to happen.
For sure.
So, Ralph, with that being said, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Definitely, that enlightenment and awareness is needed. And so hopefully, and I don't think it will end here. So I'm that optimistic. So with that, I thank you again for coming to our listeners and viewers. Remember Dutch Quarter, and remember, that we are all St. Martiners. We're one people, and if we truly believe that, more than just being able to lift a flag and say that, this is my country, we should be sure to give that meaningful input as well.
Correct.
On the island, period. Facts, right?
Facts.
So take care, and be sure to tune in again tomorrow.